Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who downloaded the Lighthouse script. I really appreciate it. The feedback is amazing and I'm really glad you are liking it. As do I. Please subscribe or follow me on my Patreon. This really helps my channel and it helps developing this script and some other things that will be published in the future. So thank you very much. Namaste. Today on the agenda we have this beautiful, very unknown galaxy called Andromeda Galaxy. Right? Didn't heard of it? Okay, there will be lots of this kind of videos where I will show some tips and tricks that you can do in the Lighthouse script so it can help your editing. Those who already have Lightroom, there will be some easier steps for them, but those who doesn't, I will do as many as I can to show all the tiny things you can do to finally refine your image to the best looking image you can. So enjoy it. My reality is that masking is an essential part of photo editing, especially editing astro images. On almost 90% of the images we are always working on the bright stuff and on the dark stuff. So you'll have to have some masking that you can refine the bright stuff apart from the dark stuff, and vice versa. Now let me show you how I do it on this M31. As you can see, we have a starless image of M31. Histogram is fine, so let's start the adjustments and fine-tuning. Let me zoom in. Of course, every M31 has a core problem because it's a galaxy. So let me show you one tip. Let's open luminosity masks and enable luminosity masks. Show the mask only, and we are now seeing the mask itself. I want to target the brights, the lights, but I want the depth to be 2. So now we are masking all this black stuff and we are targeting all this white stuff. Let me zoom in. So now we can unmark the show mask, but it is on. Now I can use some highlights to maybe lower down that bright core. It's already very nicely stretched, so I don't have to go overboard. I will use this highlight recovery so we can have some recovery in that part of the core. You can already see it. Let me show the preview. So we can see this part here and this part here, how we have some texture going on. This is not the best example of Andromeda. It's an old photo, so bear with me. A little tiny adjustment for the core so that we have some texture close to the core. Very nice. You can see what did I do. I just lowered down the highlights and moved the highlight recovery up so that we have some texture, and the luminosity mask is always on, so we are targeting just this part. Because of the highlights, we are not targeting this part because there is no highlights. It is only here and part of it is here. So we can see the change also going on here. Of course, the better the photo, the better this will work. While the mask is on, we can also use it for vibrance and saturation. We are still targeting the whole galaxy and this part of the galaxy. Of course, this is another galaxy. And we can do this. And we can also do this. My preview wasn't on. We can see how much saturation we got on the whole galaxy. Only touching a slight bit of background, it's almost invisible because the mask has some residual pixels in the background, but they are really low, so it doesn't affect our background very much. So we can also do that. We have a highlights recovery and we have some saturation boost on the galaxy, on the bright side of the image. Before, after, before, after. Of course, is subtle, but that is the point of the script, to have some subtle refinements that do add up and create most beautiful thing you'll ever have. While the mask is still active, we can apply some clarity. Let's make it a bit sharper. Let's go to clarity. Let's bump up the clarity like so and see what will happen. It's a bit sharper. I'm looking at this part of the galaxy. We can even zoom in. But let me lower the radius now. And let's bump up some more clarity to see what's going on. Remember, the mask is still active. Before, after. Okay, let's bump some clarity to see how it will behave. We have some artifacts now here. That's not good. Let's move this radius. You can play with it. Make it fun. Okay, this is too much. Let me lower the clarity and let me lower the radius on 4. Actually, these artifacts are from the original image and they're not visible because of the brighter core in the original. You can see it here. They are visible here, so that's on me. Let's say this is good and leave it as is. Apply and continue. So we are now moving on to the dark side of the image. Not the moon, the image. The sliders are resetted, everything is back to normal, and we can continue again enabling luminosity mask. Let's go to darks and let's target the darks and see the mask only. So now the black stuff is masked, so the bright pixels are masked and the dark pixels are targeted. We can leave it, let's say 2. Okay, let's say this is okay. So we want to, let's say we want to lower the exposure a bit to make it a bit darker and to see the galaxy more because we have some contrast going on. If I didn't use luminosity mask and click the exposure back -1, the galaxy would also... Okay, let me show you. I will just make it So the Galaxy is also lowering its pixels, but I do not want that. That's why I have these masks, so we can lower just the background. Because the mask is seamless, it's not sharp on the edges, we have a nice contrast going on around here. It's all subtle. We can also, let me reset, double click on the ball. We can also use blacks to lower down the... This is more easier slider. It's not that harsh. We can also do that. Let me click Control and some pixel. 0.16, 0.19. Okay, I want to lower it to 0.10. It's still very bright. Or we can do both sliders. Let me just check exposure. 0.12. The green. Okay. Let's say this is fine. And for the background, I also want to reduce some noise. Not noise, sorry, color of the noise. So we can lower this time the saturation. You can already see a bits of very high intensity blues are coming down. That's what I want. Let me see it. It's looking great. Very fine. I'm happy with that. And we can now apply and continue. We were working on the darks, depth 2, target the darks, and we are targeting only the background, and that's the second part of the fine-tuning. Apply and continue and move on to the third part. We can see clearly now the image is much better. Let's move it to the noise reduction part and move on the slider. We are not touching the luminosity masks for now. We are just moving on some luminosity on the noise slider. It's a subtle effect, but I do like it. Okay. So we now, if you don't want to apply the noise reduction in the core because it's very bright, there is no need for noise reduction. We can also apply, you guessed it, luminosity masks. Let me enable them. Let me go to darks. Let me see the mask. And now let me go to the darks. I didn't click it. We are applying noise reduction on the bright pixels and we are protecting the dark pixels. I will go to 2. Okay, let me go to 1. We are targeting the white pixels, not protecting. Let me lower down this, show the mask off. And now we can see it's already applied. The luminosity is already on 42, so the mask is applied. And we can see the subtle changes here, but not here. This stays untouched. I don't know how much you can see it on the video, but believe me. So already we have 3 layers of editing and all 3 has some masks in it. So you can see the power of the masking and how important is the masking in the astro editing. I want to emphasize the importance of the luminosity masks and mask in general. So you can see and you can learn how to use it on your own stuff, not just the galaxies or stars, but also the nebulas, bright nebulas, all kinds of stuff. you can do with it, and you can fine-tune your images to look even better than they are now. Let us now apply the final edit and see the image. Here it is. You can go back to see the original. Let me see it some more. So this is the first one, the original. First pass, second pass, third pass. It's looking great. What can I say? The script is doing its part. So that's why I like it also, and that's why I built it, to have this opportunity to move the sliders and make this a bit easier and maybe even fun, who knows. I'm having fun, that's for sure. This will be the end of today's tips and tricks for the Lighthouse script. Please subscribe, and thank you very much. See you in another one. Bye.